Right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Taking time out of your busy schedules. I know it can be tough sometimes, but we appreciate it. My name is Matt Martin. I'm the project manager for the proposed intersection improvements at the two intersections here on Route 202 in Granby, Fives Corners intersection and the intersection with School Street. And our design will be presented tonight. I work in roadway project management at MassDOT, the headquarters in Boston. Once the hearing is completed this evening, the attendance sheet will become a part of the public record. So if you would like to be counted for, make sure you sign in over there at the back. The attendance sheet is located right by the door there on the little table. Now I'd like to introduce the members of the hearing panel. We have Hal Pilgin and Chunxia Feng from MassDOT District 2. We have John Edwards from the Right-of-Way Bureau, and we have our transcriptionist Ann Carrington of Arlington Typing and Mailing in Arlington, Mass., and she will be making a verbatim transcript of tonight's hearing for the public record as required by law. In the handout, and we also have, if you didn't grab one, the handouts by the sign-in sheet in the back. If you would like to grab a couple, pass them around. I'll wait for a second for you guys to grab one. Okay. All right, I'll continue. So in your handout you just picked up, the notice of hearing is included on page 2. The notice appeared on the Republican on June 12, 2019, in the Butchertown Sentinel on June 13, 2019. A copy of this notice will be attached in the final hearing transcript. On page 4 of the handout explains the purpose of this hearing tonight, which gives us an opportunity to make a formal presentation of the proposed project. At the same time, allow us to record your input regarding the project. The project we'll be presenting is, again, the intersection improvements at two intersections in Route 202 in Granby, the Five Corners intersection and the School Street intersection. It will address both safety concerns and traffic congestion issues, and it will provide improved pedestrian and bicycle accommodations to the existing project area over what currently exists. We are currently in the 25% design stage, which means we are still in preliminary stages. We estimate the project will cost $2.6 million at this time, which will come from federal aid funding with the Federal Highway Administration, which will be funding 80% of the total construction cost. DOT will contribute 20%. This project must be programmed in the Statewide Transportation Improvement Program, or the STIP, in the appropriate federal fiscal year in order for the DOT to solicit bids for eventual construction. The total estimated cost of the project does not include any right-of-way acquisition cost, and design is expected to be completed at this time in winter of 2022. Construction is expected to be completed another year after design completion, so anticipating a 2023 completion of the project. As you may be aware, both locations are ranked within the top 5% of high crash locations within the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission area, and the main impact on the community caused by these deficiencies is safety for vehicular as well as pedestrian and bicycle traffic. In a few minutes, Chunxia is going to tell you about this project and how it will improve infrastructure as stated earlier. But first, I would like to ask John to explain the right-of-way procedure. And go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening. My name is John Edwards, and I represent the Right-of-Way Bureau of the Massachusetts Department of Transportation Highway Division. The Right-of-Way Bureau is responsible for acquiring all the necessary rights in private and public lands for the design, construction, and implementation of this project. Affected property owners will be contacted by personnel from the Right-of-Way Bureau or consultants representing the Department of Transportation Highway Division. The procedures used must comply with state and federal regulations governing the acquisition process. The current design plan indicates that fee takings and permanent easements will be required. Other areas will require temporary construction easements. Affected property owner rights are protected under our Massachusetts general laws, primarily Section 79. If a project is receiving federal funds, the property owner's rights are further defined under Title III of the Real Property Act of 1970 as amended. I will be happy to answer any general questions regarding right-of-way activities during the open forum for questions, and I will be available after the public hearing for any specific questions you may have.
Thank you, John. Now, Chunzia will describe MassDOT's project in detail for you. Please keep in mind that the project we are presenting you tonight is still in the design stage. And once Chunzia is done telling you about the design, I'll explain the hearing procedure and then open up the hearing to questions and concerns, which we'll take into consideration when completing the design. Please hold your questions until after the presentation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this design public hearing. And as our project manager already introduced, here is our name and where I come from, and why we do this design public hearing. Public hearing is a public outreach approach to make people aware of the potential project and engage a wide audience, like a local official, interested resident, in this information sharing and discussion. Usually happen after 25 submission. The purpose is to provide the public with the opportunity to become fully known this proposed project and to seek the public input. Tonight, the presentation will be divided in 4 parts: project overview, project goal, proposed design, and question and comment will be the last. I will introduce the project overview first. This project including 2 intersection improvement. One is known 5 corner intersection. Another is a School Street intersection. Why do we need this project? First, both locations are ranked within the top 5 of high crash locations within the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission's area. And because they are ranked top 5, so they are eligible for the Federal Highway Administration's Highway Safety Improvement Program. So they can fund it by the federal money. Here is a brief history of this project. This project was initiated in March 2012 because of their rank of crash. And to be eligible for the federal money, the RSA was required. So in March 2013, our road safety audit was conducted. And in June 2015, 25% of the design is submitted. But that time something happened. This job is not funded, so the design stopped. In 2017, this job was resumed, so we submitted a revised 25 submission. Last year, March 2018, we have our first design public hearing. After that, we have comments from residents and local officers, so we change our design. So in November 2018, we do this second revised 25 submission. So now this time is the second design public hearing. What is RSA? The road safety audit is a formal safety examination of roadway by multidisciplinary team. The purpose is to identify safety issue and possible improvement, considering all roadway users, the driver, the bicyclist, and the pedestrian. So in March 2013, the professional come from Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, Granby Highway Department, Granby Fire Department, Granby Police Department, and the state and the McDuffie School's principal and the duties person, we all join together and walk through this two intersection to see what's the problem and how to improve it. So in that road safety audit, this crash history was presented. This crash report between is, you cannot see, is between 2008 and 2013. There are 69 crashes in total in 5 corner intersection. The main thing, there are 10 crash related to the car exit, the Dunkin' Donuts, the 5 corner plaza, trying to make a left turn. There are another group of the crash. It happened from the Route 202 when they want to make a left turn into the Cumberland Farm. So these two big cluster, 1 and 2, all related to the left turn. One is from Dunkin' Donuts, left turn to Route 202. Another is from Route 202, left turn to the Cumberland Farm. This is the crash for the School Street. You can see a big cluster is related to the southbound School Street. Mainly is the southbound School Street and the Route 202 on both direction westbound and eastbound. So the audit team examined the things and identified several issues. First is the intersection geometry. You can see this Amherst Street and the Cumberland Farm easterly driveway, they not line up each other, not perpendicular. So you can see the two left turn, they conflict. Imagine a driver wants to turn left from here, and then here has a driver wants to turn left to the Cumberland. You can see usually at an intersection, two left turn will not conflict with each other, but this is not the case because they didn't line up. Another is for this corner. Here is Pleasant Street, here is Route 202. Based on observation, we can see the large truck cannot make their right turn easily. The evidence is this, the shoulder deterioration and the rotting is easily, it work. Another thing is a liking of a turn lane. For this intersection, the Amherst Street, Cumberland Farm East driveway and the Route 202, only this section has a 60 feet left turn lane. This section doesn't have. This section only have a gore area, but the driver usually use that area to stop and find the gap to turn left. This is not permitted, but we observe a lot of drivers do this. Another thing is access management. We can see here the Dunkin' Donuts. Here is Cumberland Farm, Wesley driveway. And based on the crash, we read through the crash history. There are some crash happened when the driver exceeded this and trying to come here. Another is this driveway, in fact, is entrance only, but still some people exist here and trying to cross to the Dunkin' Donuts. So this left in, left out for this 5 corner plaza created a lot of problem. The main thing is we basically had no pedestrian accommodation in these two intersections. Here is 2 pictures of 5 corner intersection. Only around this new built CVS, we have a crosswalk, we have a wheelchair ramp, and we have sidewalk. That's all. The rest, the 3 corner, we have nothing here. So for school street, you can see our shoulder, we cannot accommodate a bike or pedestrian in this intersection. So the RSA identified this safety issue like congestion and driver frustration, speed and sight distance, intersection geometry, signage, turning lane, in the access management, backcat accommodation as a problem. So they encourage the design team can improve this safety issue. So at our first design public hearing, which conducted in March 2018, we received 2 major comments. First, at that time, the design is trying to improve the intersection geometry by relying Elmer Street, move the M Street to line up with the Cumberland Farm driveway. But the comment we received is if we realign of Elmer Street, we will reduce the parking space at 5 Corner Plaza. And this will bring negative influence on local business, which is not supported by the local government. So we need to rethink about. Another is at the School Street intersection. At that time, the design team proposed is a signalization. The School Street intersection now is a stop sign controlled. We want to improve that to signal controlled intersection. But the local government said, why not just go to the roundabout, which is already proved so efficient to improve the safety and the traffic capacity. And so we do, this is a major comments we received last time, and from that we begin to change our design. So our project goal is MassDOT has a policy that we must improve safety for all users. So we need to change our design, not only for the driver, not only for car. We need to think about the pedestrian need and the bicycle need. So improve safety for all users, improve bike pad accommodation will be our goal, one of our goal, and reduce peak hour congestion in the storm water management, that mainly for drainage, and improve pavement condition and extend the service life. The pavement condition is not that good. It already have crack. So I will talk about the project, the 5 Corner intersection first. You can see it's really busy. It's a local business. You can see bank here, post office, the CVS. This is Cumberland Farm, this Dunkin' Donuts. They have the haircut business and the bicyclist business here. So here is several pictures to take a look at that intersection. And this is exiting. We only have this leg have this have crosswalk from Dunkin' Donuts to this refugee island, and then come to either Cumberland Farm or to the CBS. So here I presented the new design. First, we have this large tractor trailer accommodation. You can see this is a new edge of pavement line, and here is our painted truck apron. For the car, we use this part. For the truck, we have enough space to make a right turn lane, and we will to have new traffic signal. We will remove all the existing mast arm and replace to the most current design, the mast arm, to have the traffic signal. And the re-excavation of the northwest island and the reconfiguration of the southeast island. This island is the current design for this slip line is basically it's perpendicular, so the driver will stop and yield to join, is not use this slip line as an acceleration line and make a right turn. So for Dunkin' Donuts, you can see this little median island was proposed. So this can, and we will have a sign here to remind the driver this is a right in, right out driveway. So here, focus on my bicycle and the pedestrian accommodation. You can see the sidewalk along the 4 streets here, and the bicycle lane is here. We even proposed some bike lane across the intersection. So this can help improve the safety for the bicyclists. And this design, you can see the sidewalk is zigzag. It's because we want to accommodate the utility pole. We want to keep the existing utility pole as much as possible. We only relocate the utility pole when it's definitely necessary. That's I think here it has a utility pole. Here has a utility pole. That's why it's a little zigzag. This slide shows the new design for the Amherst Street. Instead of realign Amherst Street, we will do minor widening for Amherst Street and give them a right turn lane. Last public hearing, they talk about the queue of Amherst Street. So this way, since we have 2 lanes, will decrease the queue length. And so we have this dedicated right turn lane to Route 202. And we added a left turn lane. We will remove this gore area and repave that to a dedicated left turn lane to the Cumberland Farm. For this part, you can see the sidewalk. We'll continue. Sidewalk over here. The bicycle, we will give them 5 feet shoulder, so the bicycle can use this. This is the side. This slide is focused on what we presented for the Cumberland Farms driveway. Since they didn't line up, if we keep the Amherst, we gotta move this Cumberland Farms driveway. So we basically move them to east. But this will bring one issue is it's wetland now. So to move them, we have replicated what we impact. Maybe same. What we propose now is the same property, just around here to give them replicated the wetland, still in Cumberland Farm. Oh, you can see on this side we have a bicycle lane, bike lane 5 feet across, and the sidewalk. So for 5 corner, the pavement we do milling and resurfacing, and then we have this left turn lane on Route 2 into the Cumberland Farm. We realignment the Cumberland Farm driveway to improve this intersection geometry, and the right in, right out for Dunkin' Donuts driveway, and a concrete sidewalk, which will last longer compared to the HMA sidewalk proposed, and all crosswalks at 5 corner intersection are signal controlled. except for the Amherst, you know, we had the Amherst, cross Amherst, that sidewalk, crosswalk is not signal control. So 5-foot shoulder to accommodate bicycle traffic. Okay, now we move to this School Street intersection. You can see from this also image, same as that plot, you can see here the land use now is pretty empty, and except several residential use on this corner, this whole area is Oji Pond is here, the brook here. Yeah, it's pretty empty use. So I took several pictures on this intersection. Here the sign is McDuffie. McDuffie is on the north leg of the School Street. So here is the design of the roundabout. This, based on the traffic value data, we proposed the 1-lane roundabout. We don't need a 2-lane for the volume we have. We only need a 1-lane roundabout, and we have a truck apron on 2 corners. You can see the truck apron. We noticed there are a lot of large truck along the Route 202. So this truck apron can help them make a turn here, and this is the truck apron in the middle. So the car, passenger car use this part, and the truck can use this part to make a turn. There are some features for this roundabout, like we have some artificial deflections. You can notice for the north leg, it come to this side and then it's a curved. The main reason is trying to slow the driver. So we can make them enter. Our goal is for their enter speed is only 25. 25 is less than 30, so pretty safe. Driveway will keep that open for this house. The driveway will keep it open. And because this area is flood from this part, I have 40 pounds, so this place is a floodplain. Since we use some floodplain area, we need to do floodplain compensatory storage, which we already talked with the town and do some research. Will happen in the EP, the Emily Partridge Conservation Area, it's in far north. After this design, we have several performance check, like this fast pass. And the next slide is the statistic check. We just want to make sure it works for the truck, for the passenger driver. And this slide will focus on how we accommodate a bike and pedestrian. Because this is only intersection improvement, so we have this roundabout, so you can see we have 5-foot shoulder, and before it reach to the roundabout, we use a back ramp to guide the bicyclists come to this bike lane, which away from the passenger. Away from the car, so can improve their safety. So you can see the bicycle basically will come this way and use this back ramp, come to here, use the shared use path, and then cross and continue to go, or make any turn. For the pedestrian, at this stage, since that intersection, so pedestrian is limited to this, like a 4 corner. We provided wheelchair ramp, the crosswalk, and the shared use path between these two ramps. So make pedestrian can move around this roundabout without any difficulty. In future, if we have a future project which can extend this sidewalk to further length, but this basically provided a base for that. Yeah, this is just present what we thought before last March 2018, which is the signalization of the school street. Compared to roundabout and the signalization, the initial cost for the roundabout is pretty high. But if you make that 5 years, think about the maintenance after that. So added together, in fact, the traffic signal cost more. Here, this is a cost benefit analysis done by some consulting company for this location. Yeah, here they have the number to show where net present value of gas things. So about can save money in long run. So for school street improvement is a roundabout. Since we do roundabout, for pavement it will be different from 5 corner. 5 corner will be milling and resurfacing. For school street, we'll main for this full depth construction because we need excavate everything and put this roundabout in. We have truck apron, we have sidewalk, crosswalk, and wheelchair ramp, and we have 5 feet shoulder. So okay, here this is just the summarize for this whole project. For summarize 2 intersections. So macro milling, resurfacing, minor widening, realignment of compound and farm, sidewalk, traffic signal, improvement that's for 5 corner, and roundabout for school street. How will traffic be affected? When we build the intersection, construction will be done in phases because that is the intersection. We'll try hard to maintain all the roads throughout the construction, but the lane reduction, lane closure will be required. Maybe that will be one way sometime. But the driver, we will try keep the driveway access. This will protect the local business. Driveway access for all abutting property will be maintained at all time. Because we have wetland replication for 5 corner and floodplain compensatory storage, so we need environmental permitting, which is we're asking for. It's not approved yet, but it is required by law. We will do it. So for funding, the federal will fund it at 80%, and the MassDOT will fund it at 20%. The total cost for this 2 intersections so far, estimate is 2.6 million. The advertising day will be 2022. So we may hope it will be built in 2023 spring. For this project, after this public hearing, after today, we will proceed to 75, 100 PSE, then we will advertise this job. Okay. Here is our project manager, his phone number and his email. So, and the mail-in comment sheet is in the handout. So, welcome your comments, your input. So this ends my presentation. Thank you.
Great.
Nice job.
Genzio, thank you. Before I open the hearing to questions and comments, I would like to explain the hearing procedure. First, as stated previously, the purpose of this hearing is to solicit your input regarding this project. As the plans are not yet complete, we may not be able to answer all your questions or respond to all your comments at this time. Next, we ask that anyone who wishes to have his or her comments entered into the official hearing transcript to please stand up and identify yourself by name and affiliation, preferably at the microphone over here at the front of the room. Whether you're a butter, local official, or concerned citizen, and spell your last name. And this is necessary in order for us to obtain a full verbatim transcript as required by law. Also, the last sheet of the handout is a mail-in sheet, and if you have any questions or comments you would like to submit in writing, please feel free to use that sheet. You may leave that sheet with me tonight, or you may mail it in within 10 days, and it will be part of the official record for this meeting. Finally, as normal procedure, to ask any elected officials to offer their comments first. So if there are any federal, state, or local officials who'd like to speak, you may do so at this time. In lieu of that, this hearing is now open to the public, and we welcome your questions or comments. Sure.
What you're discussing tonight has
Excuse
nothing.
me, can you say your name and spell your last name?
Yes.
My name is Dan Darcy, D''A''ARCY. I'm an abutter, I'm a business person, and a business in the Five Corners area.
Awesome. Thank you.
I have land on Pleasant Street and State Street, and you have a project that's going to be coming through here with the bike lane and the sidewalk. What we're discussing tonight has nothing to do with that, correct?
Yes.
That's all.
Okay, great.
Hello, I'm David DeRozier. I'm the Highway Superintendent for Granby, and I just wanted to thank MassDOT for being so responsive and changing a lot of our their design to accommodate our request. One little issue that I noticed, Pleasant Street, you had mentioned that the trucks were causing erosion on the Cumberland Farms there as they're making the right turn to go north or eastbound on 202. I've also seen a problem there with the queue when there's 2 or 3 cars stopped at the intersection of Pleasant and 202, cars trying to make a left or continue to go straight across Pleasant Street. Cars will even jump that curb and try to get around so they can take the right turn and go northbound on 202. So if you could make that queue by just, I don't know if you can restripe it to get the queue lined up a little bit further to the left to give enough room for an extra car to get into that queue so people can get by it and take the right turn. It would probably cut down on some of that erosion as well.
Excuse me.
Great, thank
Can you
you.
spell your last name, please?
It's DESROSIERS. Matt has my email.
Yes, very helpful.
Just like it sounds, huh?
Yes.
Just like it sounds.
I'm Steve Griffin, Griffin. I'm with the McDuffie School. We are a fairly large abutter.
Yes.
I'm the head of school there. A number of things. First, thank you so much for putting together this project. McDuffie School has been there since 2011 and discovered almost immediately the danger in the intersection at 202 and School Street. So thank you for your willingness to address it. I have a few questions, a few comments. One about Five Corners, and I did sit on the committee to kind of review the safety a number of years ago on that. What is your experience in terms of cars adjusting to that early left that you're looking to put from 202 westbound into Cumberland Farms? The fact that a car may think that is the left-hand turn to get onto Pleasant Street and then be confronted with oncoming traffic in sort of doing a whoops and still going? Is it a learned behavior? Will there be accidents at the start of this?
I would say that with any improvements, there's adjustment time to be had. Now there are certain things we can do to prevent that. Maybe extra signage along saying that it's the second left that you're looking for to make a left down onto Pleasant Street there. Or sorry, but but that is something we'll definitely review in the coming iterations.
That would be a suggestion, and whether or not you actually put a physical barrier up there to divide the left turn lane that's heading to Amherst Street and the left turn lane that's heading to Pleasant Street, so that people see that they can't extend that, just as a suggestion. Not sure if you can answer this. As a cyclist, is it illegal to continue on through the road and to ignore the bike lane?
It's legal to remain in the lane, yes.
So it's legal to remain in the actual, the automotive lane,
Yes,
but you're providing the opportunity.
It is still legal to take the lane if you so choose to.
Okay.
Yes.
Just a question around the development. In and around the roundabout, you'll see there's a property that the McDuffie School recently purchased that basically is the roundabout, and at one point was a local restaurant watering hole. Does this really put restrictions on the ability to redevelop that smallish property, and I guess will that be taken into account when the time comes to make that right of way?
It's an interesting question. I'm not exactly sure. If the road is configured such that it's limited access, I'm not sure what that really does for the constructability of a driveway, if that's the question you're really asking.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Right. So if at one point it was a watering hole, it exists
Right.
a piece of property. I guess you can see it in the overhead shot, actually, from an old map. If it remains possible to be developed as a restaurant on the site that was originally intended, it looks like there would be no space for access. So does it sort of eliminate that as a possibility for development in the future?
Yeah.
I'll say that we hear your comment and we will take a look at it and try to design accordingly.
Right. That building that you see in the picture there obviously doesn't
No longer
exist. It
there.
only exists in our fond memories.
Yes.
But you can see the access is all right in where the roundabout would be.
Not all. Here,
Yeah.
it's open. We leave that open.
Right.
Yeah, here. Look, this driveway is for the
Sure.
residents, and this driveway is for the future, for
So
this.
it's conceivable that could be developed on that
Yeah,
smaller property.
yeah, this is we keep this driveway open. But before, we have so many driveways. We have here, we have
Yes.
a opening
three
here,
or
and
four
opening here. But we have to close that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one still have opening.
Okay. Just in terms of keeping one lane open in either direction, my assumption is you'll have somebody working point duty when it's in that sort of,
Usually it's a police officer when we alternate
okay.
traffic in one lane.
I would be remiss if I didn't encourage you to do the bulk of the work when school is not in session. Be happy to talk to you about our
Definitely
We'll end as semester end as of May. Our construction season will start as.
It's perfect, right? June 8th, we're
Yeah.
usually done in around that time.
But we cannot guarantee you anything.
In terms of just my concern using that intersection about the speed of cars on 202 relative to the speed of cars going through on School Street, I know that your intention would be to try to slow everybody down to 25 miles an hour. I want to indicate both for residents who are abutting, who are worried about losing their land, if you're interested in any sort of redesign that puts that circle a little to the north to slow the east-west traffic down, that obviously McDuffie School will be willing to engage in the discussion about offering up a little more land for that project to be shifted slightly north. And 25% in, you know, I don't know if it's a click and drag situation for you, but if that helps slow down the east-west traffic, then we'd be happy to engage in that.
Okay.
Yeah, we still are at 25%, so it's definitely something we could take a look at.
Okay, thank you.
Jay Joyce, Chairman of Granby Select Board. One comment on the School Street intersection on the shared use. I'm presuming that's gonna be either asphalt or concrete.
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah. I just wanna make sure, I don't wanna see it direct.
No.
J-O-Y-C. Sorry, Ann.
Anybody else? All right. If there are no other questions or comments, I'd like to remind you that last year the handout is a mail-in sheet. If you have any further questions or comments you'd like to submit, please use that sheet for the purpose. All comments are valuable, and we do take them very seriously. You may leave this sheet with me tonight, or you can mail it in within 10 days, and it will become part of the official record. Before I close this hearing, I'll like to say that we will be here as long as you're interested to go in the back and talk about the plans and look at them. If you want to ask any questions that affect you personally, we will be here to do that for you. So thank you very much for attending, and thanks for our host, wherever, maybe Chris upstairs, you know. Yes, and I declare this hearing closed. So, thank you very much for attending.
Yeah.